This is how I read Keepa graphs after selling over $2 million on Amazon. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Eric Cooper. I've sold over $2 million on Amazon using an automated virtual assistant system. So my VAs actually run over about 80 to 90% of the business. My VAs source all my products. They purchase all my products. I have a prep center that, does all the prepping for Amazon. So I never touch or see any of the products that I purchase or find them. So I've pretty much been able to automate a lot of their business. It was not like that from the beginning, but today I'm going to be sharing why Keepa is important. I'm going to be sharing the Keepa basics and the settings that I'm using for Keepa and just how you guys should set yours up, especially if you're a beginner and you don't really fully understand everything yet. And then I'm also going to be going over some products and just how to actually understand the Keepa graph. Okay, so let's get started. This first product right here, I'm just going to use to show you guys my settings. Now you guys can go ahead and copy my settings if you'd like. I'll explain why I use the settings that I use and what I would recommend if you're someone who wants to have similar settings to me. So I actually am going to toggle both of these off. So first things first, your Keepa is going to have everything toggled and it's going to have this middle graph. You can have this middle graph if you would like. The good metric on here, for those of you guys that don't really know what this is, the good metric here is the monthly sold. So this yellow tab right in here, this just is monthly sales for a product. Now, I don't like using that because, most of your tools are going to have estimators. Like right here, we have 50 sales in the past month. I use Scan Profit. We have 50 estimated sales in the month. So I don't really like using that monthly sold tab. It can be good if you're looking at seasonal opportunities because you can see, in December it had 5,000 sales where normally it only has 1,000. That's where it can be good. I still don't like it. It just is another graph I don't want to have to look at, so I shut it off. If you want to shut it off, it is this button right here called Sub Ranks, okay? Now, for this top graph, I shut off everything but sales rank, buy box, and new. I keep those three. You can keep those three. You could put on FBA, FBM. I just have those off because I just like to have them off, to be honest. And I feel like a lot of people get more confused when they have FBA, FBM on because you may see FBM at $40 even though the buy box is at $20 and think the product sells for $40 even though it doesn't. So buy box is your important metric here because that's where actual sales are happening. Sales are happening in the buy box. That's where they are. And so I just ignore using FBM and FBA. Okay, you guys can do the same. Bottom thing here, bottom chart, offer count's going to be really your big one. Rating count is useful because this is a good way to gauge demand of a listing because if you see the reviews going up a lot, this could mean that there's actually a lot of buyers and a lot of movement with the product. Whereas if it's not moving, no one's buying, no one's reviewing. So, or it could just be getting a lot of reviews because the product's really bad. That's another thing that could happen. But yeah, that's what I use for the bottom. You could use rating. I don't really use rating because I always just see rating up here, right? 4.5. So I don't really bother with rating on. But if you'd like to use it, you could. One other thing that I want to touch on that I think is really, really valuable for you guys in the settings, I would recommend putting your chart appearance here for the range at 120 days. The reason why is because when you first use Keepa and you first load up a product and you want to look at the data, Keepa will automatically put you at a 3-month time frame. You'll see the past 3 months of the price history, the seller's history, and that's what you'll see. I found that 3 months is just too short. You'll see that a lot of products have maybe tanked or it just doesn't show you enough information within 3 months. I found 120 days is just that sweet spot where you can see exactly how stable the price is, but you're not looking at a time that's too short and it's like you don't see enough, but when you do too long, right? If you look at the past year, you're always going to see a moment in time where the product tanked or it wasn't very good. So I just find 120 days is just that perfect sweet spot in the middle. So if you guys want to copy that, you can go ahead and do that. Another little piece of game I'm going to give you guys is under tracking settings, setting Pro. Put your tracking mode on Pro because what this allows us to do is if you go to track product, we can actually use this to track a product based on offer count, otherwise known as other sellers. The reason why this might be valuable is because let's say we found a product like this product right here, and let's say, you know, maybe the offer count, the amount of competitors went up and it's not really that good right now. What we could do is we can set a tracker for, you know, maybe when the offer count's a little bit lower, right? Let's say when the offer count, you know, for this example, the offer count's at 24. At 24, maybe the price isn't selling for as much as we really want it to be at. But when the offer count's at like 16 or 15, that price is really high and we're really profitable. That's when you might want to set a tracker to be notified every time the offer count hits like 15 or 16. Okay, so that's why I would recommend using the tracker. There's a lot of other benefits that you can look into on here, but that's one that I've found, you know, being the most useful is just setting it for offer count, so you can be notified when there's less competitors on a listing. Super, super fun. You guys can go ahead and try that out. Now, we'll kind of talk about how to understand it and what's kind of going on with that. Just so you guys know, I guess I didn't really touch on too much why it's very important, but the reason why Keepa is so important is because Keepa is going to help you prevent buying bad products, okay? I feel like most of you guys are starting to know this by now, especially if you've been watching my videos for a while. Keepa is going to be the biggest thing that helps you prevent buying a bad product, and so you need Keepa, because without Keepa, without any sales history, without any price history, we won't know if a product's actually good to buy. Because you could look at a product that's selling for $22 today, but in the past 5 years, that product could have always been selling for $9 and you would be losing money. So that's why it's important to look at the previous history and knowing that information. Let's talk about how to understand it, okay? It's not super easy. I know it can be a little bit challenging. Looking at all these graphs, it's very, very confusing, but I'll do my best to explain how to understand this. So the first thing, I wish I could draw. I can draw. I love doing that. Okay, the first thing I want to share with you guys is this right here. So this blue line, if you guys see that, the offer count is actually trending up, okay? Anytime the offer count trends up, you will see that the price starts to trend down. So in this blue line, the product was selling for $25 right here in this window. And then as we see that offer count spike up, we see that price starting to come down. So this is always going to happen no matter what you sell, no matter what the product is. This is basic supply and demand. And just to prove that to you, will this be a good listing to show? No, this won't be a good example. Just to prove that to you, this wouldn't really be a good example to show either. I do want to prove my point. We're going to open up this product. I'm going to show you guys a pattern that will happen across every single product you'll ever sell in your entire life on Amazon. And it's the supply and demand pattern. And what that is every time your offer count is very high, your price will be very low. Every time your offer count is very low, your price is extremely high. Every time your price is extremely high, your offer count's really low. Every time your offer count, the competitors are super high, your price is very low. Okay? No matter what, a product will go through this roller coaster of emotions, just like your crazy ex, okay? It is always going to be up and down. Expect it. It's normal, but you just have to prepare for it a little bit. But I also don't want you guys to overthink about this. Sometimes I go a little too in depth with Keepa, and then I have people telling me they're overthinking. Don't overthink things. Try your best not to. But that is how Keepa works. That's why, you know, you'll see a lot of products have patterns. It's all a pattern. Now, I'm going to kind of review the next few products for you guys and just let you know what I think about them and what my thoughts are. And let me know. Hopefully this will be helpful for you guys. So this first product right here, we got about 50 sales a month here, and our offer count is at 45. For me, that offer count is way too high for the amount of sales on here. So I don't really like that. I will say one thing though, it does look like the sales rank, which is the green line here, sales rank actually ties into the sales per month. There is a good chance that this listing is now getting more sales, because in the past, the sales rank was like 200K, 100K, 150K, but now the sales rank has dropped even below 50,000. The lower the number, the more sales. The higher the number, the less sales. So if you have a sales rank that's like 1 million, that product is not selling at all. Okay, next thing that I want to mention would be just like the price is actually pretty consistent here. But one thing that I wouldn't do is buy this product because I do have a good assumption that the price will probably drop a little bit more. And so that's why I wouldn't buy this product, okay? These are completely raw. I did not like think about what I was going to say. This is literally just what I think about as I'm looking at these products. This product sales are also a little bit slower, but it looks like it can pick up in this period. You know, we had quite a few people sell out because the offer count went down. Price looks like it's very consistent between 34, 36. So if you're profitable at that price range, this isn't too bad. Offer count's really high right here. This might be a good product to actually set that tracker. You know what I mean? Maybe set a tracker for like 27. You know what I mean? Because that's when you're starting to decline in offer count, and maybe it'll be going up to $39, $40, even higher profit. But yeah, if I'm profitable at $34 of this product, if I'm profitable at $34, I would buy this product. That's what I was trying to say. It would be just a test buy. I would test 10 units just to see how it goes, because after that test buy, it should have the offer count starting to go down. And then that's when I'm going to do like a full buy. Maybe I'll buy like 40, 50 units and, really go all in on this product. That's if the test buy, performs kind of the way I want it to. Okay. Not too bad there. Let's take a look at this. Okay. So 2 things to think about here. This is a glass product. I try to avoid glass products because glass products tend to, they can break, okay? You got Amazon employees whipping your crap around. They don't care about your stuff, all right? Only you do. Just remember that. Only you're going to care about your business. No one's going to care about it more than you. And so they might throw your stuff around, break it. So be careful about that. There's probably, it's a lot of FBM sellers on here, which is smart. The FBA guys, there are FBA guys on here, but yeah, I mean, like if you're going to sell a glass product, I would say probably better to do FBM because you have a little bit more quality control. This is good. Yeah, if you're profitable at 20, 26, maybe you're getting this for like $10. This isn't bad. I mean, I like to look for higher sale price items. Like, I like to look for like $40, $50 plus items, just so I make more money quicker. But this isn't a bad product to get the ball rolling, especially if you're on a budget. Your cost price here is only $10, but you're making $3 a unit. There's 200 sales a month. If you sell 30 units a month, it's not too bad. Get you going. Price is very consistent here. As you guys can see, very straight line. The 120 days is just perfect. It's that sweet spot. Even 1 year, this product is very stable. Offer count isn't too crazy. This is a great product. Great product. Let's take a look at this one. I don't like the looks of this. Scan score is not good either. This is a red product. So our sales rank is super high. We're at 200K. So this item's not selling very much. And the other thing too is this offer count is just only going up. Okay. Anytime you see a pattern like this where the offer count's pretty much just only going upwards, the demand is low and the price is going to drop because it's just slowly increasing. Like it's not like it's a up and down. Remember the pattern we were showing earlier? It's not like that. It's just going straight up slowly. That means that there's just people, getting more on the listing than there is sales. And so that's just not ideal. I would skip this product myself. Very interesting search here. I wonder if that's why this has low sales. Like, I don't know who is searching this on Amazon, but I mean, I guess some people are probably buying it. But yeah, very interesting there. Let's take a look at this one. This one's also a red. This one is really bad. I would assume this could be private label too, because there's just not a lot of sellers on here, right? In the past year, we've only had 8 sellers. 8 sellers isn't bad, but if you look all the way back here, I mean, there's just been nobody on these listings. I always avoid stuff like that just because, you know, for me, I'm more about safety versus, you know, like trying to risk it for a little bit of extra money. For me, I'd rather play it safe, do things right. And so for a listing like this, I would personally just avoid it. The sales are also pretty slow, I can see on this listing. So yeah, just for that reason, the sales being slow, I would probably skip over this myself. Check out this last one. This one looks really solid. Very stable price, and we have that exact pattern that I was talking about with kind of like the little ups, little downs, little ups, you know, little downs, little ups, little downs. Not the best drawer ever, but that's the perfect, that's the perfect offer count that you'd want to see. That's exactly what you like to see. And then we see no movement really on the price. This is exactly what you want to see in like a perfect product. Very strong score here, 8.0. So we know this product is a really good, solid item. You know, if you're getting this for $29, I'm very happy with this. You know, $7 profit, you sell maybe 20, 30 units a month of this, and then you just try to find 20 more products like this. And that's how you really scale the business up. So yeah, very solid buy here. Definitely something that I would buy with the right price, of course. If I'm making money, then I will go ahead and buy this. But super solid there. Hopefully this was a helpful video for you guys. I think Keepa is something that a lot of people get really confused on. So hopefully I was able to make a little bit more stuff connect. If you guys have been selling on Amazon for a while, or at least trying to get into Amazon, and maybe you're still struggling on like finding products and maybe hiring your first virtual assistant, below this, I'm going to put a link to register for my free training. It's being hosted on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So you guys could go ahead and attend that. Just make sure you get registered in below this. I'm going to be walking through how to find your first product, even if you're brand new or you're just struggling, how to get ungated, and how to actually go ahead and get your first virtual assistant so you can start automating more of this business and really starting to scale things up. And then for those of you guys that really want to just dive in a lot quicker, I'm also going to put a link to work directly one-on-one with me, and I can really help, go over your shoulder with your business and just help you scale things a lot quicker. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.